Because my arms are too valuable to me. You know, I play the drums, and at this point it's how I make my living, so I can't risk breaking anything. And I'm older now and not as exciting.
But you skated for long?
Yeah, I skated from, you know, when I was like 10 years old to probably around college-esque time, 18, so like 8 years maybe. And for a while I wanted to be a pro skater, but I was decent, you know. I could do some handrails and stuff, but I was it's too dangerous, too much risk involved to not be playing, because I broke my collarbone on a vert ramp. I think maybe my sophomore year of high school or something, and I couldn't play drums for like 7 months. So it's just that won't work now, you know. Yeah.
And you played drums for how many years? Did you study?
20 years. No, I'm self-taught. I studied for 3 semesters at the New School of Jazz in New York, but I dropped out. And
because?
Because why most people drop out of school, I guess. They don't like it.
You didn't like studying, but this was after you were self-training,
yes.
Right?
So it was...
Did you feel like you don't want to learn what the school would teach you, or it would somehow ruin you? That's what some musicians or artists say.
It wasn't that I was afraid it would ruin me. I definitely feel that if I stayed, I would learn a lot and I would get a lot better. It was more that being in such a structured environment for an art form that I felt was so free just wasn't very cool. You know, and it was like, it was this, you know, jazz to me was this place where I could be free to do what I wanted to do. Not completely, obviously, but coming from just playing in bands my whole life, playing jazz, and then going to a place where it's like A equals this, and this equals that, and this is wrong, and this is right, and it just took me by surprise, you know, and scared me. And I was just like, man, I can't relearn, you know, 12, 13 years of playing. And so I took what I felt like I could get from it, and then I was just like, I'm done, you know. So I learned a lot of piano theory and learned a lot of cool like rhythmic analysis stuff and got some ear training, and I gained a lot in those couple semesters, but it just wasn't worth the money, it wasn't worth the stress, and now I don't even really play the same thing anymore, you know. I've found like a new outlet for me musically, and jazz is heavily integrated into it, but it's not playing the same standards over and over again, and not, you know, it's just not the same. I don't know. I wasn't feeling school.
And how did you start then with electronic music?
I actually started playing making electronic music because of my poor jazz technique. I developed tendonitis in both of my arms.
What is that?
It's like tennis elbow or something. It's just very painful, like electric shocks kind of going up and down your arms. And I was incapable of playing drums for a long time again. So my younger brother gave me reason to, and was like, you should mess around with this. You have more of an out. You can be creative with this. And then I just loved it and became obsessed with it for a while. So, yeah.
How would you then describe your music?
I would describe my music as instrumental music made electronically with a lot of hip-hop and jazz backbone, but then branching off into whatever, you know, drum and bass, more psychedelic stuff, more like early warp kind of IDM sounding stuff. There's no one thing, you know, but the backbone, I guess, would be hip-hop and jazz would be kind of the spine of the music.
Live is quite important in your work, right?
Yes, live is the most important because I come from that setting, so it's where I'm most comfortable, and it's also where I feel like I can express myself the easiest and the most advanced. So it's the live show, I think, is in a way just as important or more important these days, because it's very hard to make a living just by selling records. So you have to be able to come and perform as well. And I think that if you have something special, a spark, something that's different with your live show, it's going to help you a lot. Yeah.